Exercise I call shoulder rolling, and it's great for a rotator cuff or anything really going on the shoulders. A lot of us tend to do this, right? Or maybe we've been trained to do that, okay? So it's kind of going back and forth, maybe over time, you know, it's like, but what we want to find is basically a neutral. What we want to find is that there's no strain anywhere in the body. We're just strengthening. So what you want to think of is broad shoulders in the front, and particularly this area here, okay? And then what gets disconnected is down here. So we want those serratus anterior, and also it'll get lower traps too when we get our shoulder blade kind of back in this nice place. It'll turn up the volume on those muscles, and that connects in with your oblique chain here, okay? So what this exercise will do, and others do it too, this is just a great one to train, is working rotator cuff and this broadening, okay, in conjunction with your abdominals and your torso, your stabilizers for your core. So, and it feels good too. So you're going to line your side and press. I need to tap something a little higher. But with this, it's best if you have like a long towel or something, because your head's going to be moving around. I just didn't get one. So you're pressing this bottom arm down. It's coming out in front of you, perpendicular to your torso. You're trying to get your humeral head back in the socket. That's your arm bone, the head of the arm bone in the socket, a little bit back, okay? And you're also lifting up, so you should be able to feel under here. You're going to rotate or go forward. Go slowly. Don't go fast, especially your first time doing this. You don't want to feel any pain at all. Forward. And then as you go back, change this. As you go back, you want to make sure the pecs don't overwork. And this is my bad side, so I should be doing it on this side, but I might not do it perfectly for this video. And it's okay, there will be a point where it probably will come up, but as long as it's not tightening or tensing too much. It's over. Good. So here I'm getting like a stretch because I'm so tight. Not everyone will feel a stretch, but it's still good training to relax the pecs. I'm going to keep it simple and just say pecs. Okay, and as you come back, careful that doesn't pop up. Also, as you come back, you might start farther behind here. See it jump forward? So you have to get yourself back up. Guide this back in the socket. Go forward and back. And forward and back. You can go much slower than that. I'm just trying to demo it and not take forever. So another thing that does is, so you're working your rotator cuff, but instead of working it like if you were given bands or something where you're doing this, you don't have the same feedback when you're doing that for your body, for your muscles. The muscle pull starts to go in the direction towards the spine. We kind of want that broadening away from the spine. So in other words, the muscles that attach to the transverse processes on the spine, the sides of the spine, it's like it's holding it, but it's not rounding it. It's just spreading it. So it really helps to elongate, which helps us to be able to rotate our spine over time. So if, say, we're somebody who has been taught maybe at the gym or whatnot to just squeeze back there, work those rhomboids. Rhomboids are still going to work when you're broad and you're doing this, right? Or when that exercise there. However, they're not getting tightened in the direction towards the spine. And so what happens when we do that, and say we overwork extensors, in other words, the back kind of like trying to, oh, I want to sit up nice and straight and for whatever you've been told, that eventually will inhibit your rotation. I mean, or as you do it, it would make it so that you cannot rotate very well. So I don't know if you've seen folks, or I've had a professor once, my chemistry professor, who, you know, he would, when he'd go to write on the chalkboard, he'd turn like this. He didn't have much mobility in his back. So that's what that would look like over time. You know, maybe you need to turn your head in the car and, you know, maybe your neck is working, but your back can't quite do it. So that exercise is really good for maintaining the ability to rotate in your spine. It's not as direct as some exercises we'll go through, but that training of that broadening will really help over time. And it's just so good for the capsule itself to train where it sits. Instead of going forward like this, it's going back, and the direction of energy is kind of going out and away. Okay, thank you.